Hey, and welcome back to my channel. After realizing that many people never heard of or even aware that recruiters exist, myself included years ago, in this video we're going to talk about what exactly is a professional recruiter and what do they do. But before we get started, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. It's completely free and really helps us out a lot. What is the recruiting industry? So be honest, when you heard me introducing myself as a professional recruiter, did you actually know what that means? It's okay if you didn't. Neither did I before I got into the industry. Nor did I even know that the US recruiting industry has been around since the 1940s as a result of the void created by citizens signing up to serve in World War II. And since then, the recruiting industry in the US and globally has grown to a massive size. Are you familiar or heard of these words? Search firms, headhunters, recruiting agencies, or staffing agencies? These all make up the recruiting industry and currently account for about 20,000 different firms that collectively employ about 16 million people every year, and it's still growing. Despite the hard hit the industry took as a result of the 2020 pandemic, the recruiting and staffing industry is still forecasted to grow to $136 billion overall in market size in 2021. So what do recruiters do? So if you're part of the recruiting industry, what do you do? Recruiting and staffing agencies help companies and organizations search and hire qualified contracting, permanent, or outsourced employees for their teams. Another way to explain it is that recruiters are basically professional matchmakers, similar to real estate agents, for example. While real estate agents match buyers with sellers, recruiters, myself included, match companies or hiring managers with qualified job candidates and job seekers. While finding and presenting the right candidate to the hiring manager or an employer might sound simple, a recruiter actually does much more than that. From helping crafting the perfect job description, managing the entire interview process, checking references, to even verbally extending job offers. A recruiter's function plays an important role in the company's overall hiring and recruiting process. Recruiting and staffing companies operate as critical partners to companies that are aggressively hiring and need all the support and resources that they can get in a hyper-competitive job market. Recruiting companies can focus on a range of job types and experience levels from entry-level to highly specialized roles. Recruiting and staffing agencies are in almost every single industry as well, and the industry is being recognized more and more for providing exciting and fulfilling careers. Types of recruiters. A common myth or confusion job seekers have about recruiters is that you have to pay to work with them. That is not true. Now that we talked about the industry and what recruiters do on a high level, if you're ever thinking about using a recruiter to help your team or company hire, or you're interested in recruiting as a possible career choice, there are generally 6 types of recruiters to keep in mind. Internal, in-house, or corporate recruiters. If you have ever applied for a job before, most likely you would have interfaced or worked with one of the company's internal recruiters. Internal recruiters work closely with the company's executives and hiring managers to source and hire full-time employees for the team. They're typically paid a competitive salary, benefits, as well as equity. Typically at a recruiting startup, you can also grow into a senior recruiter, recruiting manager, or become the head of recruiting. Depending on the size of the company, internal recruiters also usually source most, if not all, of the open positions, or they could be part of a team that is specialized in one of 2 areas or position types. For example, a team that focuses specifically on engineering and technology positions. Internal recruiters act as essentially the gatekeepers to the company and do everything from crafting job descriptions, outreach, screening, interviewing, extending offers, to assisting with onboarding. Companies that are recruiting or growing a lot but don't have internal recruiters can also hire recruiters as hourly contractors as well to help augment the search. Contingency recruiters. Unlike an internal recruiter at a company that would typically earn a flat base salary regardless of the number of roles to fill, when it comes to a contingency recruiter and agencies, you earn money for every successful candidate that you place. There are no upfront or monthly fees that need to be paid out by a company to use a contingency recruiter or agency, and instead, all earnings are 100% commission or fee-based. Similar to an internal recruiter though, a contingency recruiter also does everything from candidate outreach, screening, to then managing the entire interview and offer process. Smaller companies or startups typically enjoy working with contingency recruiters as there's no upfront fee involved to engage their services, and the client or the company is only obligated to pay a predetermined fee when they hire a candidate represented by the contingent recruiter. The typical fee for a successful placement is commonly around 20% of the candidate's base annual salary. So for example, if the candidate's annual salary is $100,000 and the recruiter's fee is 20%, the recruiter will get paid $20,000. The job seeker does not pay anything here. Retained recruiters. The main difference to contingency recruiters is that with retained recruiters, the company would pay a retainer or a fixed fee up front and a remainder of the fees when a successful candidate placement has been made. This method is usually more common for harder to fill, more experienced positions, think senior directors, VP, or even C-suites, and will incentivize a recruiter to spend more time and resources on this position consistently over time. Retained recruiters will also work exclusively with clients and can charge up to 30-35% of the salary of the position. Just like a contingent recruiter, the job seeker also doesn't pay anything here to work with the recruiter in using their help to find a job. Temporary or contracting staffing agency. This type of agency specializes in searching and hiring temporary or short-term employees. In this scenario, the employee is employed by the temp agency and the agency will pay all of the employee's taxes, benefits, and insurance. The client will pay for the employee's time based on a marked up hourly rate in exchange for having the flexibility to hire or fire someone based on short notice. Many short-term contractors will also have the ability to be converted full-time if the employer is satisfied with the performance, as they would rather choose to convert the contractor into an employee rather than continuing to pay the higher hourly rates for the agency. One more time, the job seeker doesn't pay anything here. Full-scale RPO and on-demand RPO. Full-scale recruitment process outsourcing, or RPO, is when the total or a portion of a company's recruitment activities are transferred to a third-party provider. In this scenario, the RPO usually controls the whole process end-to-end and is often used when a company has high-volume staffing needs that their own internal HR or recruiting team can't handle, or even if a company doesn't even have an HR or recruitment team at all. On-demand RPO provides recruiting support on an as-needed basis rather than a long, continuous contract. Companies tend to use this service if they need full-cycle recruiting support or just parts of it like sourcing, coordination, candidate management, to background checks, etc. Companies like using a demand RPO service as they only have to pay for services they need rather than getting stuck in a long contract with ongoing payments. Outplacement recruiter. This type of agency provides assistance and support to employees that were downsized or displaced by their employer. Some and not all companies will hire this type of agency to help their displaced employee workforce find jobs out of goodwill and faith. In addition to finding jobs, outplacement agencies can also provide other services like career advice, resume review, or even general counseling. I hope this answers a lot of questions that you may have had before about what a recruiter is, the industry, and the different types of recruiters. Whether you are a company that is hiring or a candidate seeking a new job, working with the right kind of recruiter or recruiting agency can certainly help you save time and money, as hiring the wrong person or working at a wrong job can be costly on many different levels. If you have any other questions about recruiters or recruiting in general, please feel free to reach out and comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's completely free and really helps us kickstart this channel. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.